All right, we are live, and the New York Mets and New York Knicks have done a great job this week reminding us just how much it can fucking suck being a sports fan. It's mornings like this morning where you wonder why you didn't get into music hard, or you get into like nature and hiking, or basically anything in the world that doesn't make your happiness rely on a bunch of strangers playing a kid's game. Nonetheless, we're here, and as always, we have our Coors Light, because we got to believe it's presented by Coors Light when you're juggling work, family, and life in general, or in this case, devastating losses. It's easy to feel the pressure, but that doesn't mean we have to lose our chill. Besides, you never know when life's inconveniences can turn into a great story you can tell later with a Coors Light in your hand. I once saw an Indiana Pacer do the choke sign on the Madison Square Garden floor. People don't remember the Knicks won that series, and it was basically the same fucking feeling the night that happened. So everything can get cool, and Coors Light can help take you there. When the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smooth finish. I'm drinking my Coors Lights at night, and hey, Memorial Day's coming up. We're going to have ourselves a nice little weekend here with Coors Light. So Mets fans, choose chill this season and then reach for Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/believe. Give the boys a little love. Or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. All right, so today's show, it's me. We got Phil and Kyle here. Kev's out today. Today's show, man, I'm telling you, at like 9:30 last night, I was so excited. We had Baty getting big time hits. We had the Knicks up, 14 or so, let's just say, and everything was good and everything fell apart. So we're gonna get to the Knicks at the end, as always. But this is a Mets podcast, and we had ourselves quite a little week in Mets land, huh? Quite a little week. Last time we said hello to everyone listening and watching, we were about to embark on the Subway Series, knowing that Juan Soto was going to get booed and all the shit that comes along with it. And then we got, I don't even know what you call it. It's like a media avalanche. Like they call it the Cavalanche. It's like the media lanche. We get the New York media lanche, which just fucking sucks every time it involves one of our teams, and more often than not, it involves a team wearing orange and blue, and we were stuck at the bottom of it. And it's led to Kyle, our boy Kyle, getting into skirmishes with radio personalities and program managers. Kyle, how you doing?
Dead. I don't care so much about everyone's making that to be like, oh, Mets fans are complaining about the Soto situation, and if it was anything else, we'd have no legs to stand on. You guys are literally just pulling out stories that everyone knows to be false, and then running with this narrative of he's got a private jet. Yes, he's not hustling. I'll say that. Everyone with two eyes can see that. But everything else aside from that, it's a baseball player in a slump. Like, that is what it is. The whole lineup's been in a slump up until last night. That's just baseball. I don't need to hear 45 minutes of 45 takes about how all these extracurricular things with Soto are causing him not to be able to play baseball. Like, that's not the case.
It's the extracurricular things and the things that are like made up, the private jet stuff, which I always love. We had
family begging him to go be a Met when he's choosing the Mets over $5 million. Like, get the fuck out of here.
So you have the family thing, which, I mean, we heard about that the family was wanting him to go to the Mets, and he probably was, whether or not he wanted Mets, Yankees, anyone else. That's how he made his decision. I could care less. It makes me love the Soto family even more, to make it clear. The Jet stuff. And then the enthusiasm. That was my favorite one, the enthusiasm line from Bob Clappish. As someone said, if no one in the Mets is old enough to have Bob Clappish as one of their sounding boards. So that's not true. As the youngin' on the pod and someone going through some of this stuff, the Soto stuff, not for the first time, the Knicks stuff, definitely. Phil, what do you think about all this fucking Soto nonsense over the weekend?
I mean, it was kind of expected. Like, we kind of knew whatever slump Soto would go into, it would cause media avalanche. We even saw it back in April where Sal Licata was like, oh, the fans should boo Soto for this upcoming homestand. But then they won 7 in a row, so, like, nothing ever happened. Maybe they win 7 in a row this time with the Dodgers coming in and nothing ever happens, but it sucks. We went 2-4 versus the Yankees and the Red Sox, but those are interleague teams. They don't count that much in the standings. We're 30-20, 100 and we're 30 and 20, 50 games. I can't even do fucking math because my brain's so fucking broken. I thought that number was 100 for some reason. But yeah, this sucks.
Yep. It's Phillies are in first place with 1.5 games as well. I decided to do that check. I was like, oh, are we still in first? And by how much?
Yeah.
And then it was a half a game.
An
Yesterday.
insurmountable game and a half lead on May 22nd. They'll never catch him. Don't
So
even bother.
let's see. Phil, last year, May 22nd, 2024. What were your feelings about the New York Mets?
I think that was when we were getting swept by Cleveland, and I was like, this team is going absolutely fucking nowhere.
And we were just days away from one of our relief pitchers saying we were the worst team in baseball, right? And throwing his glove into the crowd.
Yes. Actually, I remember so it was the Cleveland series. Then they went back home to face the Giants and the Dodgers, and the Giants gave them like 2 kicking a dick losses, like late in innings. I remember, and Max Wiener? The Mets had him do like social videos like for that series, and there was like, no, team's playing so bad, we're not putting these out. So like, we're in a different place now than we were a year ago. That's where my brain is.
2-4 against the 2 American League East teams, which like the Red Sox series, I think the Yankees series is more, it's the rivalry, it's all that kind of stuff. You have to hear all the Yankees fans, especially with Soto. You just want him to come through, which he really didn't.
What did you guys think of them turning their backs to him by proving they don't care about him? By the way,
yeah, I saw Travis's.
I kind of like that though. Like,
do you?
I kind of like how corny they are.
Reality of. You're better off just booing him. Everyone knows you're not happy with him. Turning your back is like such a spectacle.
I do like how corny and like heartbroken they are over. Like there is a part of me that does like that because it is gonna make them look dumber in the long run anyway.
Right. That's true. You could actually make the case that by acting like this, it does make them look worse. Where the old bleacher creatures, they would have had like a police escort like on the field around Juan Soto when he was taking the field, when they were just going straight savage mode back in the day before they had to put the wall because that motherfucker Jeffrey Mayer. And the Soto stuff. So a couple of things with Soto here. We had a bunch of people say like we need to come up with the new things with the Lindors because this is Francisco Lindor all over again. It's Carlos Beltran. It's Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza was fucking awesome his first year as a Met, but he didn't get enough hits with runners in scoring position because they always just keep moving the goalposts with these players whenever they, Clemmer said it best on Pick Central the other day. I don't know why Mets fans treat their like star players when they just arrive, if they struggle even a little like this, but they do. It's just part of the fan base. Phil, do you remember what he called? Like the Red Sox fans have a name for it in Boston. Do you remember what it was?
Oh, I forgot. Like,
yeah, it's a good name. It's like a witty name. And like he's like the something of misery, and it's like 35% of the fan base that just is always just going to bitch and moan about whatever. And listen, we were going before we went live. We were having like, what's your Soto worry meter at, or whatever you want to call it. And I think for me, if it was like 1 to 10, it's like a 3. It's like at this point, it's just I just want him to get good game by game. I'm not worried about what he's going to look at the end of the season or at the end of 15 years. It's like I just want to win the games, and he's coming up in big spots during the games, and the offense isn't doing anything across the board for the most part. And it's like I just need him to do something. But it's gotten to the point now where you have think pieces, you have all the stuff that we gone through with Lindor. They're running the same playbook. You could just take the talking head and just, copy, find, and then replace Lindor with Soto. We've been through this all before. They're going to keep picking on it. Maybe not so much now that the Knicks are going to be taking a lot of shit.
The worst part about it is like, Lindor's numbers Lindor was a legitimate case. Like, oh, you could be worried because like his batted ball metrics were bad. His OPS was in the 500s on June 1st. Like there were legitimate concerns with Lindor in 2021. Or like maybe he just washed. Soto is literally like still like one of the better hitters in baseball. And we're having these conversations.
So I'm gonna do a thing, Pabs. I'm gonna share a window here. Let me see if you can get it on the pod for the people watching on YouTube. We're going to do a thing called Guess That Met on Baseball Savant. Which Met has this batting profile for this season? 99, XWOBI. Granted, these are numbers I do not understand, letters I do not understand, and I'm pretty sure Phil probably knows every single one. Kyle may know most of them. I know a couple of them. But basically, it's all red except for hitting the LA sweet spot percent, whatever the fuck that means.
Large angle sweet spot.
There we go.
Basically, he's hitting the ball hard. It's everything on the ground.
If you took a look at this Baseball Savant, Phil, would you say this guy is like an MVP candidate, essentially?
I'd say he's a very good player.
Yes. So this is the guy that we are spending days of our lives, soap opera shit, but like literally every second of our lives, debating, concerned about, crying about, yada, yada, yada. All the numbers, the underlying metrics, whatever the fuck you want to say to make yourself sound fancy, they're pretty good right now. They're not. And listen, it's mind-boggling. You're like, I'm at the point with Soto where I'm like, please don't end into the double play, and please don't just strike out on 3 pitches looking, which is the Vogelback at this point.
Yep.
So I understand the frustrations, but at the same point, like we've said before the season, we were going to give this guy a little leeway if he started slow. And now that we're still in May, and that leeway has disappeared altogether, at some point we're going to have to start coming up with the people battling on this. And Lindorks was the name with the Lindor people. I think, killed. Have you guys seen any Lindorks around the house lately? I haven't seen any.
Honestly, no.
No, I think we killed every single one.
Because they're all on Soto.
I think, yeah, it's true. They've all become Soto haters. I think the home run in Atlanta or the grand slam in Philadelphia killed them all. So we've had a lot of people say, what are the Soto people going to be called? I've had a lot of different entries. Kevin, I said Soto Dodos, a couple of things. But Joe Silver, the Sohos. I think the Sohos is going to work. These guys are just hoes, just trying to make their name, get their clicks or whatever, just talking shit about our beautiful generational Juan, and everything's going to be all right. So the Sohos are out. They're going to be loud. Honestly, I don't know when they're going to stop because I don't know when the motherfucker is going to start hitting. And getting on base is nice. His OPS is still in the 800s, which that's pretty good. And it's just very frustrating right now.
He is crushing the baseball into the ground. He's on the Brett Baty plan right now.
Yes.
He's just hitting it hard. He's just hitting it directly at the second baseman to turn double plays. And you got to think at some point he's going to get that launch angle back up there, and we don't have to worry about this. But going into this, I was saying he's got the lowest swing rate like every single season. So the fact that he's up there taking pitches is nothing new. And I found this out yesterday. When he was in San Diego and struggling, all of those fans killed him for doing the shuffle and for having the aura and for being swaggy when he's not playing well. So maybe he's taking that experience and he's bringing it over here to the Mets because, let's be honest, he's already getting shit on anyway. So why is he now going to be swaggy about everything and just add more fuel to the fire? That's where I think he's coming from. I don't think he's unhappy to be here. He loves hanging out with the bullpen guys in between innings. He has a little Manny Ramirez in him. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, he's the last one out of the dugout. People are recording him leaving the dugout now. Like, they're going to nitpick every single thing. At the end of the day, you know what you need to worry about? It's generational Juan Soto, who's going to have his numbers at the end of the season like he always does.
I couldn't care less about the lack of Soto show up. You're like, oh, he's not happy. It's like, well, he grounds into a double play to end the inning. I don't want him to see him smiling either. Like, because even when Lindor gets out, you see a smile. But you're like, why is he smiling? It's like, you can't fucking win either way. Like,
yeah.
You tell me he grounds into a double play, Frank isn't going to go, he's smiling.
Yeah, like, you can't fucking win.
Yeah.
We've lost Francis. We lost Frank Fleming.
We lost him a while ago. We lost him last month.
We lost him for a bit. I have him muted, but I did see some of the videos getting like tweeted on the main account and stuff. I saw during the stream last night as he's losing his mind while the Knicks are fighting for their lives. It's tough. There's no real way around it. And you mentioned the name. There is a conspiracy theory I've had, and I know Juan Soto has a Hall of Fame career with this. However, there is a case to be made that number 22 with the Mets is just haunted. Because I'm doing my research now, and Brett Baty, the fucking guy who would just crush AAA pitching and then come up to the majors and just hit the ball into the ground as hard as he could, was number 22. Do we have to trade the number back to Baty? But I don't want to do that because Baty's important to the team now. Do we just scrap 22 and just go somewhere else? 23? No, 23 is taken. That's Peterson, right? We have to figure this out. So I'm looking at 22s over the years. We have Baty, Ender, and Ciarte had a year with it. Rick Porcello. And then before that, our beloved Dom Smith, who was like the Brett Baty at first base at one point. Eric Young Jr., Kevin Plawecki, Willie Harris, Raul Valdez, JJ Poots, which just sent a shiver down my spine. So the number 22 in orange and blue, no bueno. So there is a case to be made. It's just a number issue.
I don't usually subscribe to that kind of thing. As soon as you said Kevin Plawecki, I was like, oh, damn, we're going deep.
That's a pretty good baseball number, too, I feel like 22. I don't know a lot of Hall of Famers all the time I had that wore 22, but it's not like a gross number. That's a good number. So I don't know what to make of it. I'm giving him to the All-Star break until he's just like not making me dread his at-bats. I'm like, oh God, just please just do something here. The Yankee series was as bad as it's going to get with the target on his back. And now we kind of just have to let it like open from there. Our boy Steve Cohen tweeted out the other night about this being part of the ups and downs of baseball. Was that the first tweet he had since, hey, this is all going to go to shit at some point?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a prophet. The prophet that makes profit. That's what Steve Cohen is, right? So he knew what he was talking about. Steve Cohen knows ball, and he knows numbers. He knows numbers a lot more than ball, so he knew what he was talking about. And Juan Soto, the Mets were due to come down. Juan Soto's due to come up. That's what those red savant numbers tell me right there.
The only consistent thing right now is that our pitching staff is just getting the shaft. I cannot believe that we are consistently in every single ball game, and we're scored last night excluded 10 runs in 6 games or whatever it was. Like, that's insane.
It was a week without a home run.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lindor hit a home run last night. He just passed Alonso. I thought Alonso had way more than that. He's got 9 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually I know Lindor. He was 1 for his last 23 at some point. I saw they put on the screen. So obviously he's been going through it. I don't even know what Pete's number. Pete's at 292, 9 home runs, 37 RBIs. Yep. But I feel like he had like 32 of those RBIs in fucking April. It was craziness.
Yeah.
He had 28 No, I'm sorry. He had this is bad radio. 24 RBIs in April. So 24 of those RBIs coming in April out of those 37, when you also had a little bit of March in there as well, or you had 4. So 28 of his 37 RBIs coming in April. We're end of May. So that's part of it as well. It's not just Juan Soto. I don't want to spread the blame. I don't even want to use blame. But luckily, just like last season, there is a much heralded prospect who he gave up on, who plays third base, that decided he's going to bring his fucking stick to the yard and his glove to the yard. And I'm talking about my guy, Brett Baty, number 7, #believe. Honestly, boys, I can't even do my victory lap today. I was just so excited, and I know it could all just go to shit at some point after last night's Knicks game. But do you guys feel comfortable with Baty? I feel comfortable when he's just on the field at this point. Not at bat, I'm still 50-50. Yeah. I'm I don't know what's going to happen here, but I just feel like he's a good defender at third.
Him and Vientos is night and day at third base, to the point where I just don't want to see Vientos have a glove. I don't care how many cool gloves he has with holes in them. I just don't need to see it anymore.
We have enough trouble in the field as it is. We need all the help we can get.
Yeah. Okay. Because again, I am completely 100% acknowledging that I'm wearing rose-colored glasses when I look at Baty, because I'm always trying to find the spin zones with him. And I can't be, talking too hard because it could all turn. But I feel like he's getting the elevation. He plays a good third, and that's honestly all I can ask right now, because if the defense was going to shit during all this, which it usually does when you don't hit, that's when the fan base is really ready to revolt. So we've been doing this podcast for so fucking long. Times like this, when it's 2-1 games, like Kyle said, the starters are getting the shaft. Maybe you take a lead and then the bullpen blows one game and then it just feels like the sky is falling. It's about as bad as it gets. And as we're going to discuss, the Dodgers are coming to town. Phil, what was actually, you know what? We'll get to that in a second. We're going to talk Dodgers series coming up. But first, we're going to talk about Game Time. Baseball is back. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Lucky for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to game time. I was looking for tickets to the Mets versus Dodgers game, and with the raindrops outside, we're trying to figure out when that works. The aforementioned Mark Vientos has a bobblehead day on Sunday. I think it's supposed to, get pretty nice out. 7:10 game. Mets, Dodgers at Mets. $51 for a ticket there. Not too shabby. A little NLCS rematch. Things are going to be electric. So you can put those savings back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, new hat, or some good old-fashioned Cracker Jack. What are you waiting for? I'm going to buy my Mets Dodgers tickets now with Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BELIEVE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, BELIEVE, and redeem code BELIEV for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. What time is it? Game Time. So Mets Dodgers coming up here. Philip, tell me, how have the Dodgers been doing in this crazy little baseball world we live in?
They were swept by the Angels this past weekend, so that tells you that they've been doing pretty bad. Blake Snell's on a 6-day IL. Tyler Glasnow's on the injured list. Yeah, they're all injured. I think we just lost Clem.
He said, and like that, I'm out.
But yeah, just to keep it going. The Dodgers have been like I said, they lost 4 in a row, I believe, and they got swept by the Angels. They have pitching injuries left and right. We're getting the Dodgers at a good time, I guess you would say. Like we get
Kershaw though now.
Well, I think Kershaw at this point in his career, it's not that bad. Like we get him Friday, Saturday's Tony Gonsolin.
He shows up like he always does against us. Mm-hmm. We shall see.
Yeah. Oh, there's Clem back. All right. Did you hear what I said?
Sorry, fellas. The baseball gods trying to take me out there. I didn't jump off my fucking roof thinking about the next game.
Yeah. I said I might be me. The Dodgers got swept by the Angels. So that's how bad they've been. That's baseball.
That's baseball, Susan.
And their pitchers are dropping like flies. Like
Glasnow, I feel like I forget he's on the team.
He's always injured. They won the World Series last year without him.
Yep.
I forgot they had Glasnow and Snell.
Yep.
Like two absolute studs when they're right? And that's the thing about the Dodgers. A lot of this money and a lot of the Dodgers signing stuff is based around pitchers. And at some point, pitchers are going to stop signing with them, being like, well, if everyone's healthy, I don't have a spot in your rotation.
Oh, I remember, like, Roki Sasaki got injured, too. And he was like, oh, this is the best franchise for my pitching development. It's like, the one that has pitchers injured left and right? Like,
yeah, not us. Where we have Griffin fucking Canning looking like a Cy Young candidate.
Like, no, he just wanted to be with his little Japanese friends. Like,
wait, is Shohei just, like, not a pitcher anymore?
Apparently, like, they keep saying, like, oh, he'll pitch at some points. Like, when?
Yeah, I feel like they're just like doing away with it until people stop asking.
It's like we had the argument on Pick Central. I was like, Juan Soto steals 4 bases in a 5-game stretch. No one cares. Shohei Ohtani does it. It's like the greatest thing ever. It's like, well, Ohtani pitches. Like, no, he fucking doesn't. He doesn't do that anymore.
And also to say he doesn't hustle. Like, he hit the ball off the Green Monster in that other series. He knew he should have been in second base. So what did he do the very next pitch? And stole second base.
The other thing about that play was that I was like, I feel like he was running. If he was running hard, he may have just been thrown out at second because P was thrown out at second in the first inning. Yep. That same game. Yep. That's why I wasn't mad.
I did see the video, which I thought was funny, of Lindor's home run yesterday, busting out of the box. He's like, no one's going to give me shit for anything that doesn't have to do with hustle. Yeah. Even like
Vientos got a double off the monster. He barely got into second base because they missed the fucking tag. He would have been out by 12 feet.
And you said with Lindor too, like the way Lindor has kind of taken into this role as like the captain, whatever you want to call it. Like, and listen, as someone that was riding the Francisco Lindor train is good since day one. Even I can admit, like, he was getting into it, we're booing the fans and shit. Like, it takes time to get adjusted to this fucked up city and fan base. I completely acknowledge that. And like with Juan Soto was today, he will not be in 3 years. He meshed in perfectly with the Yankees fans as soon as it happened. He had Judge behind him. He had the short porch, and he had a fucking contract push too. I think all those things combined worked out to some magical season for him. So I think Lindor is kind of the exhibit A of how things can get better. But
Lindor was punching Jeff McNeil in the face and giving the fan base the thumbs down. Like, we are nowhere near as bad as it was when he first showed up, and now we want to anoint him the next captain. Like, that drives me insane. I got fucking Brandon Tierney on the radio saying that this is going to be an awful contract. We're in month 2 of a 15-year contract. Are you kidding me?
I brought this up to Clemmer, like, how does this compare to Mike Piazza having to come out and say, I'm not gay?
Yeah.
Real thing. That happened.
It's our fan base. We always say that it's just Met fans, but like, it really is.
It really is.
There's nothing like it.
I mean, we turn the fire up on these things. Like if there was like a science lab, like there's the player and the fucking like beaker, we turn on the fire. But then like they get kind of the Yankees fans who then get in the Mets fans' ears, like, yeah, this guy fucking sucks. It's like, oh yeah, he fucking sucks. And then it's a very toxic, crazy mix, and it all just bubbles up. I mean, like once every Piazza was 98, Beltran was 06, Lindor was 21. And now here we are with Soto in 25. So
Beltran, I remember they had a story come out that he showered by himself, and that was a story. Like, he needed the locker room to himself for that. I don't understand, like, what we decide to focus on as Mets fans is so stupid, and it has nothing to do with what's on the field. If they struggle at all, we just point to something else. And you're like, oh, well, look at this problem.
The Knicks get that. No one really cares about the Nets. The Knicks get that when things are down. And then the Giants are starting to get into that range where the media is then trying to like make the stories out of nothing or some random things get made up. But the Jets are the ones like the Manish Metas, like you just hear all these stories about everything. And you're like, oh, like you're just fucked from the jump. Like Aaron Rodgers wasn't wrong when he said like this team and the sources and there's just such a negativity around in the way it's covered. Then it's like he just skips all training camp to go on like drug fucking vacations and shit like that. So there's two sides to it, but it's just how it's going to be here. We just have to get over the hump. Again, Lindor is the epitome of that. Was there anything else from the Reds? Like the Red Sox series, like losing that bullpen game was very annoying because I was like, oh shit, like they had to get rid of Bueller. But it's just when the bats are cold, the bats are cold. I can't even like. It's just what it is at this point.
What do you guys think about Mendy changing the lineup?
But it can't hurt. Like, like when you're in a slump, yeah, just do something else. Like it's that simple.
I was happy to see it until I saw Marte was batting second. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like Juan Soto wasn't upset that he got bumped out of second. He was upset that he got bumped out of second for the corpse of Starling Marte, right? Like out of everyone on the team, Starling Marte is probably like a third to last guy I want to see at the plate, right?
Under 200. I was like, okay, let's put him in like the spot that we consider to be the most important, but whatever.
But I do think Mendy's brain works like that. It's like, hey, give him a bump in comp. Like you're doing 5 different things as a manager. This guy might need to blow this. The fact he kept Baty, and I was like, why are you keeping Baty? And Crochet is going to eat this guy alive. And he ended up being the guy who like came through for the game. So I don't understand it. I don't want to say I'm out altogether. But I think I'm not I just can't be a Stanek guy anymore. I just can't do it. I can't like he is what he is. He's our 6th to like up good in the 7th inning guy at this point. I'm a Craniac, Phil's guy. Diaz is we have to just believe in Diaz. Garrett Reed. That's basically my like holy trinity of Mets relievers. Brazoban's ERA is what, like 1.03 or something like that?
Yeah.
And I fear him more than like almost anyone in the bullpen, which makes no sense. It's just, I guess, the name, and he had 1 or 2 just bad outings, which apparently the only time he gave up runs, because you literally can't ever know that low if you're just like that ice cold. So I don't know where
like has a little Jake Arrieta in him where it's like when the moment's big, then you can rely on him. But aside from that, you have to like toss out the numbers early on because I don't know how good he was before we picked him up last year. But from the moment we picked him up going into the postseason, then he was nails. So it might just be one of those things where it's like he loses his focus. He doesn't have his focus early in the season, or he loses it at some point and then he regains it. I'd much rather him be good down the stretch. So if he could like hold out long enough. But yeah, right now it's like Kranick, even Buteau for a little bit. Like I don't feel overly confident. But the bullpen, overall body work, they're good.
How about you, Phil? How do you feel about the bullpen?
It's a bullpen. Like
perfectly said.
It's a bullpen. They're gonna have meltdowns. You're gonna have nights like last night where they got all the outs. I mean, we've seen so many bad bullpens. I'm fine with one that's just fine. And you know what? You trust Stearns will just get the right guys in July anyway.
Yeah. When the bullpens really matter, I know we're gonna have the guys in place. They may be legitimately guys who had a 7 ERA on another team. They're going to come here and they're going to be fine.
You'll look at guys like expected ERAs. Like, okay, this guy is expected to be really good the last 2 months of the year.
Yep.
Like,
can we have the real conversation, which I feel like nobody's focusing on? Alvarez and Torrens.
I had that exact conversation last night where one of my buddies texted me. It was like, can we Torrens should be the starting catcher. I was like, Alvarez is my number one concern, like with this team right now, because the power is gone. The last 2 years, the power has been gone. All he does is hit dinky little singles to right field. He doesn't pull the ball anymore. Like,
he doesn't have an approach when he goes up there.
It was literally last year. You could have made the case Torrens and Alvarez were similar players.
Yep.
Now you can make the case Torrens might just be a better fucking player than him. And I know Alvarez is 23 years old, but like we're living in the now.
Yeah. No, and again, we've been so much better with getting base stealers and stuff like that. But Torrens, it's just everything. It's kind of the Candelita or the fucking Tyrone Taylor. Like when he comes up, I just have it doesn't make sense, but I just have so much faith in that he's going to come through there. It's crazy, man. It's another Stearns fucking masterclass, right?
If I had to hear one more thing about Jose Iglesias, it's like Frank is like the OMG Mets are dead. It killed the Spirits. Like, The Padres have OMG. They have Jose Iglesias. His OPS starts with a 5. They've lost 5 in a row. They lost 14-0 last night. Maybe worse. I didn't check the score after that. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, we also have, like, oh, play the kids. Like, I'd rather have Luis Angel Acuna on the roster than a 35-year-old infielder. And I'd rather have good memories from Jose Iglesias rather than have an OPS of 5. And it's like, oh, that stupid fucking song. Like, we know how this works. We made the right move.
Got to move on from that shit. We said that.
Like, even the yellow and brown OMG sign, and I'm like, just let it go, man.
Oh, they have the sign out there?
I think even he doesn't like that. I think a fan made that, and he even didn't have a smile on his face looking at it.
Yeah. If in that world, if Iglesias came back here and say he signed when he did, a little later, and then he was batting at a 5, his OPS began with a 5 in Queens, and Acuna's on the bench not doing anything, right? And then at that point, we'd probably be talking ourselves into McNeil being a better second baseman for us if he was hitting that poorly. That's kind of where it goes. That's why it's like I'm happy they just ripped it off like a Band-Aid, just got it done with. It didn't work.
They brought back Vogelbach, and that's exactly what happened. He was like the cult hero because he was sitting next to Ruff on the bench. It was like, yeah, you're going to be the great guy when you're sitting next to Ruff, when you have the comparison. But when he's not there and you decide to bring him back and he is the player that he is, that's what happens. So, like, Iglesias would have overstayed his welcome. I'm glad that we could have, like, that positive memory forever for him, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
But Torrens, I mean, he blocks the ball. He calls a good game. He can lay down the tags. He's coming through clutch in clutch situations. Like, they both have 1 home run. What are we doing here? And the 1 home run for Alvarez was an Oppo shot that
he doesn't pull the ball anymore. Like, that's why I just don't fucking get it.
No, he had a hand. I'm trying to think if there's like an injury with it or something.
He's had 2 hand injuries, but like at the same time, like
I think it was last year they made the point of being like, you're swinging just for power, and we need to make that adjustment. And now he has no power, but also he's still getting blown away by the fastball. So it's like something's going on.
It's like, yeah, you're striking out less, but all you're doing is hitting dinky little singles that don't mean anything. Like
he did get fast tracked when he shouldn't have all those years ago because Omar Narvaez absolutely sucked. And he came up and he had success, and that's just who we thought he was going to be. But it was like they did want him to develop more in the minors before he got called up.
That might have been the most triggering part of that Red Sox series, which is saying something considering all the nonsense. But when Narvaez had some stat where he had hit in this many games or in a row, I was like, this guy was the worst baseball player I've ever seen.
Well, it's a different Narvaez.
Oh, okay. I thought they said it was Omar Narvaez. I'm like,
no, it's a different.
I'm losing my mind over it, Phil.
It's a different Narvaez, but the last name will still trigger you.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my God. I thought someone had told me it was the same guy, and I was like, I can't believe this is the same dude. I feel a lot better about that. Okay. All right. So you know what? It's all gravy. Fuck that Red Sox series. That's a win in my mind, too, even though we lost 2 out of 3 there. This series coming up. So this is a fucking wild series. So it's Mets-Dodgers. Game 1 starter. I'm telling you, boys, when I saw this name on the list. Kyle, do you know the probables for this weekend? I know Phil does because he's a sicko.
Do I know what?
The probables. The probable pitchers.
No. I just know Kershaw game 2.
It has some game 1 here. Game 1 versus Canning.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know Kershaw had returned. I see he has 11.25 ERA. The only thing that concerns me.
2 starts.
What?
He's only had 2 starts, I think.
Yeah, I know he's come back soon. And it feels like October weather outside. So that means we're not getting a good Kershaw, probably. We're probably going to get a guy who's a little fucking shaky like he is. I see Gonsolin here for game 2 against Peterson. And then 3, Knack. Don't know who Knack is. Don't even know anyone. I can't even say he's Dustin Keller. I can't even incorrectly guess him. Landon Knack with a 6.17 ERA, 27 years old, in game 3 against Senga. So those are our 3 starters, all 7 o'clock games or whatever, which I fucking hate. And to hate it even more. What?
None on SNY.
That's the thing I hate the most. Apple TV Friday night, Fox Saturday night, ESPN Sunday night. So on Friday and Sunday night, I'll be spending my time listening. I don't even know who the Apple TV announcer. I guess I'm just going to listen to Howie on the radio as I have to Reggie Miller call the Knicks game. And then on Sunday night, I'll have Reggie Miller calling another Knicks game as I have the dickheads at ESPN on the call with Fox wedged in between there. just tough. Just a tough series for everyone all around. When there's no SNY, you go 0 for 3. That's a brutal fucking weekend.
Especially playing the Dodgers, like you need the security blanket. Like we could get our dick blown off, but like at least you have Gary, Keith, and Ron to share in the misery. This one, it's just going to be. I hate the national broadcast because they just regurgitate the same stories over and over and over again because they don't know what the hell's going on with the Mets day to day. So basically, we're just going to be in for Soto Fest.
Yeah, that's probably it. It's going to be another Soto just hate bomb, and they're going to be breaking this
contract
down from 3 weeks ago.
Too. Like then we're going to be sucking off Ohtani the entire broadcast
with highlights from last year's NLCS, right? And it's three different channels. They're going to just do the same beats every single night. It's going to suck everybody.
Miserable.
I would always suggest getting some more Howie in your life. Make it a Howie weekend altogether. If you want to watch the last couple innings or whatever, turn it on then. Just get some more Howie in your life. It's just going to make things better. We're in kind of a rut right now. Just looking at the Dodgers. Ohtani has 17 home runs. Didn't know that one either. That's fucking disgusting. Batting 304 with an OPS of 1.053.
Oh, we're losing Clem. Kevin's not here, so he had to pass along the baton of terrible Wi-Fi. There he goes. He'll be back.
I blame Spike Lee.
Yeah.
It's all his fault somehow.
You guys still have to talk about the Knicks. So
yeah, exactly.
This is just a hell of a podcast in general. I don't know how you are functioning today. I saw you on the stream. To end the stream, you almost took out the pizza guy.
I almost ended the stream.
I'm sorry, boys. I don't even know when I lost you. I was just going through the numbers there. The Dodgers are matching the fuck out of the ball.
The Dodgers are a good team despite losing a bunch the past few days.
Yes,
I think we can all agree.
Is there another team that can fit into that?
Yeah, we're a good team.
They're in a similar situation as us too, because their division's stacked. Like we're a great team, but of course the Phillies are then also going to be great. And we still have to worry about the Braves. They have to worry about the Giants. Yeah.
So it's going to be a shitty weekend all around. In terms of just you don't have them on SNY. You're going to have your fucking your guts just you're going to have butterflies because you're going to have to face those monsters in the lineup, once every 2 to 3 innings, probably 2 innings, the way this team goes.
Rushing the ball. I don't know if you were reading off his numbers. His OPS, I think, leads the league.
Who? Freeman? Yeah. Freeman's right there with Ohtani. He's 1.087. Ohtani's 1.053. So he has 9 bombs, 368 average, just murdering the ball. Conforto, the great Michael Conforto, 164 average, 2 home runs. Shoulder injuries are bad, folks. Shoulder injuries are very bad. And I saw here, Teoscar's out, right, Phil? That's what I asked.
He came back.
Oh, God damn it. All right, so we don't get even him. We miss it with the pitchers, right? We're facing Landon Knack, washed up Kershaw, and Gonsolin, who you never know with how him and a lot of those Dodger pitchers go. So just hit the fucking ball. I think almost even if they lose 2 out of 3, but they at least show up on offense, I think I could sleep at the end of the night, right?
Yeah. Honestly, you score runs and I'll feel happy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I don't want a repeat of the NLCS. They were just head and shoulder above anything we were going to be able to do. Yeah. And as far as I know, they haven't really changed anything from the lineup. So we're going right back into it, except our pitchers are pitching well. So you just got to hope that they continue.
We were joking. It's we hold the Dodgers to 7, we'll feel good.
Yeah. Seriously.
And in one of the funnier, I saw this, someone tweeted it the other day, one of the funnier scheduling quirks, might have been Jolly Olive. Dodgers, juggernaut. Then we faced the White Sox.
The Rockies.
Crap. The Rockies, crap. At Dodgers, juggernaut. At Rockies, crap. So it's a very up and down weekend, which you guys remember this last year with the White Sox. I was more scared losing the White Sox games at the end of the year.
Yes.
Because you're you got to win these games. Whereas if you lose to the Dodgers, you're they're better than us.
Those White Sox and Rockies games should feel like automatic wins to where you will feel awful if you lose to this team. I will lose mostly the Rockies. The Rockies are going to lose 100-something games. Yeah. The Rockies have 8 wins. They're the worst team in baseball history.
Crazy. It's also crazy that we're having the conversation of worst team in baseball history back-to-back
years. Yeah, there's something broken in the sport for sure. Rob Manfred, you cocksucker. I'm not even going to go down I don't even want to look to see what the state of the White Sox is. So we'll save that preview. We'll just do a recap of it. Hopefully it's a fucking sweep, like you said, Phil, because you can't really just drop those games, especially if you have the division that we have. So we're going to wrap things up. We're going to do some Knicks talk. I walked back into the podcast with Phil talking about whatever was going on the stream last night. So we've hit the sweet spot of the baseball season. Every pitch counts, everyone matters, and every game can shift the standings. This is what DraftKings Sportsbook was made for. From same-game parlays and live betting to odds boosts and more, DraftKings has you covered from first pitch to extra innings and every moment in between. New to betting on baseball? No problem. Just start with something simple like picking your favorite team to win. It's quick, it's simple, and it makes every inning that much more exciting. And for the first-time players, DraftKings is serving up a can't-miss offer. Bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BELIEVE. That's code BELIEVE for new customers. You get $300 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and your bet wins. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. And the crown for the NBA is still in the air, but I'm telling you, the New York Knicks grasp for it slipped a little last night. Just an absolutely completely devastating loss, as bad as you're going to get for a game one loss. What was the stat? Teams that were up 14 with 2:45 in the fourth quarter in NBA playoff history were 994-0, and now they're 994-1. I'm just all right. So I want to get Phil's temperature on this all. But I'm just going to say, as the old head on the podcast, that feeling last night of hopelessness, like anger, and then like at the end of the night, you just have this like hole, it's like a void inside of you where that warm feeling of a win turned into a loss and you're just not sure what's going to happen the rest of the series. That I haven't felt that feeling since 1995. That feeling I had was the Reggie Miller 8 points in 9 seconds game. That was the 25-point fourth quarter the year before when he did the choke sign. The Charles Smith game. I think last night was a rite of passage for the younger Knicks fans who are the most loyal fans in the fucking world for staying with this team with no reason to fucking be happy. I had the 90s who kind of got me through the tough times, and I'd listen to Go New York Go whenever I was really feeling bad. Phil, how was that experience live streaming Aaron Neesmith becoming a fucking star?
I said last night that is at worst a top 3 sports loss of my life. And if they lose the series, I may have to put it at 1 because obviously the obvious ones, 2006 Game 7. I was 8 years old. I wasn't old enough to like fully grasp it. And even with that game, it was 1-1, 3-1. Like it's not like they were up a bunch and then blew it. Yeah. And then I'd say 2015, obviously you could pick any of the 3 games that they lost, that they blew saves in. I would pick game 4 to 1 I was at.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
But even that, they were like, what, like up 2-0 at that point? Like, it's not like it was automatic. We were up 17, I think, at one point in the fourth quarter. We went on a huge run without Jalen Brunson. It felt like this is going to be a win, like as sure as a win could be. But I still wasn't that comfortable. After Neesmith threw, I was like, we needed him to miss at least one for me to feel something. And then he just kept making them. Like, it's gonna be, if they lose this series, which I honestly I think they will, like it's gonna be the worst sports loss of my lifetime.
Yeah, because you're that close to the finals, and again, like you just, even if they lose in 6 or whatever it is, they lose in 7. If it gets that, and even if they were to just get their doors blown off in the next few games, you're like, it all started there, right? It all started with that. I call it a collapse on the Knicks end. I also got to give like Neesmith a ton of credit. Those things weren't even close to even like they were.
He was wide open on every fucking one. Like why?
Did you see Kat and OG getting into it during one of the timeouts?
Yeah, like
yeah.
And I think Dave pointed out too, it's like the Knicks were scoring during this stretch too. It's not like it was like a 4-minute drought where like we didn't score and they were just hitting everything. It's like, no, we scored, I think, 14 points in the last like 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah. And there was a little bit of like that. I thought they started running a little bit of that Celtics game 1, game 2 offense where they're just like passing around, shoot the threes and hope to go for the jugular. And then that opened the gates for this to even be a possibility. But you start doing the math, you're like, all right, this could be a 2-possession game, but if this happens, you miss a couple free throws, and this happened all the time against the Pacers in the 90s, more so than some of the other teams. But man, it took me right back. It took me right back to that feeling, everything about it, man.
That's what's annoying. It's like when I say that was his top 3 worst sports loss of my lifetime, people would tell me about like the 90s or like the 99 Mets or 2000. I was like, I was fucking 2 when that happened, asshole. I am not counting that.
No, and it's one of those things you just truly like can't get over. And when, again, I think everyone should be celebrating. There was a celebration and stuff. That's why I couldn't get too high, because it's like there is just so much to go. And this just feels like it's just going to be above our heads until you win. If you win the series, I got to give credit to Halliburton too. The fact he wanted to go for the jugular there. I hate the fucking, as he said, the aura farming and the choke sign. I would fucking love it if he was on my team though. You know what I mean?
You know you have to tip your cap to them. It's like literally like I think it was more of a Pacers comeback than a Knicks choke. Like maybe that's coping, but like they had to hit so many fucking shots to make that happen.
And this is the 3rd crazy comeback they've had in the playoffs, and that was one thing where I was like, I can't think this game is over, because I saw them against the Bucks in the first round and the Cavs in the second round had 2 comebacks that I didn't even know were mathematically possible, and they did them both. So they did this one, and they definitely fucking earned it as much.
I'm sure we both thought the same thing before the tip-off. 20 minutes before tip-off, Jim Irsay died.
Yeah, that was
last tweet was about the Pacers, and I was like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah. There's not a lot of indie sports legends, we'll say, but he definitely is one. Shout out Jim Irsay too for giving part of my take the Colts banner. That was such a fucking move by the Colts organization there. And then it's like for the next 48 hours, it's like all you got to do is just be like, all right, like we gotta win.
I think they win game 2 like pretty handily. But, like, even at that point, it's like, okay, it's 1-1. We should be up 2-0. It's going to feel empty. I will not feel good until they're leading a series.
Yeah. And then even if they lead, you got to finish it. Because if anytime you just be like, well, that one game should have been ours.
That's what I would rather get swept and lose the series in 7 games. Because I'm going to be thinking about game 1 the entire fucking time.
Yeah, true. It's true. It's fucking awful, dude. I don't know what to say. That's all I got. I mean,
like, people were like making fun of like how I reacted last night. I was like, dude, like Aaron Nesmith turned into fucking God, and that's like one of the greatest like comebacks in NBA history I had to experience. If you want me to sit there and like act normal, sorry, I'm not fucking doing that.
Nobody was acting normal in their fucking houses or.
And did I make a mess? Yeah, but I also went back and cleaned it up. Like I have fucking manners.
And I give Vibbs credit. Like, you know, he talked his shit. Let it be known. He's in the fucking cage.
There's nothing wrong with him. I know I told him to like die yesterday, but like that's just playoff basketball. Like he did nothing wrong.
It's all part of the game. All part of the game. New York, Indiana, 2 places that love their hoops. So I know I told them to die yesterday. I mean, you and Clem were getting deep on each other too. You guys were really digging up shit. So
and now I hope the New Hampshire Granite go 0-82. Like,
oh man, it's a sick world. I mean, you had because like I slept like 2 hours last night.
I got 90 minutes.
90 minutes. Yep. I didn't know I could still get to that level. I'm just so shot. I have enough shit. I have kids now and all this other stuff. I didn't know I still had sports could do that to me. And it did it to me fucking really bad last night. And it was tough. And KFC is like, oh, this was on Clem's birthday. I had the Ewing finger roll on my birthday. That was when sports meant like everything. I was 13 years old. I went to the restaurant, and as we're there, they just kept showing the replay on the news because it was done earlier that day. And then from that point, that was game 7. They lose. Their last probably chance to make the finals for that little run of the team was done because Jordan was, I think at that point the Magic had beaten Jordan, so we knew we wouldn't have to face Jordan. And then Pat Riley sends in his resignation because he knew that team was kind of cooked. And it was like the end of it. And that was like, that game fundamentally changed me as a fan. Like I've never been to that point, which I'm sure a lot of people have been with some of those Mets games you mentioned. Last night it's happened again. That's what happened with the Reggie Miller 8 points in 9 seconds. If they win that game 1, which they should have, that Ewing finger roll game might not have even happened because they would have had 4 wins. So you're going to be thinking about it the whole time, Phil. Tonight's sleep will be a little better. You might get like 180 minutes if you're
lucky. I want to fucking sleep like in the afternoon. Like
you're gonna do the Frank the Tank sleep. What are they called? The sleep schedule or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Let me ask you this: do you feel like it was a come down from the Boston series because you just thought you were gonna get blown out? Like, you know what I mean? Like when USA beat Russia, like they still had to go on and win the next game. Like you have that natural, like you're on such high testosterone that like you're firing on all cylinders. So is there going to be a natural come down?
With the Celtics series, I didn't think we were winning that till we were up 2-0. And even at 2-1, I was like, we're still going to win this series. Like this, I won't feel we can win the series unless we're up 2-1 next 2 games.
Yep. Yeah. And then if we're up in those 2 games, you're gonna be like the whole time, like
you'd be up 3-0. It's the same as last year. Like,
yeah, it's fucking horrifying, dude. And the Pacers are that team that, like, even if we are winning these games, it's like I'm also just like, when are they just gonna break us?
I can't watch a basketball game the same way ever again. Like, we could be up 15 with 2 minutes to go, but like it's not over yet. Tibbs is gonna be the same fucking way. He's never gonna take his starters out ever again, even when the starters blew the fucking lead to begin with.
Yeah, the starters lost the game movement. I've seen that groundswell start.
Like, he takes out Mitch and Deuce, and then fucking
but Mitch and Deuce were in for that last offensive possession too. I still don't know what they were trying to do. They didn't try for a steal or a foul. They just let Obi Toppin just fucking dunk it on their faces. It was crazy. I have so many questions about that end of game execution. So, if anything, like this Knicks team has done. Last year's Knicks team did it much better than this year's Knicks team. When like shit looks bad, the team usually does respond. I think it starts with Brunson. But like Brunson, he talks there's a lot of talk about how Halliburton between last year, he got his Olympic spot.
Lost Clem again.
I got nothing for you.
Oh my god!
I got enough misery with the Mets. I don't need to be a Knicks fan too.
I will say, like last night, also like made me realize like I can't do a Frank and stress out over like May baseball. I can't let a May baseball game ruin my fucking day.
Yeah.
Like when this exists. So
especially like you guys are coming off the series of 2 20-point comebacks.
Yeah.
Now that's just going to be in the back of your head for the rest of time of you need to make sure you have a dominant bounce back game for this one.
Yeah.
Before they get going.
Yep.
Who is the favorite in the West right now?
OKC, I think, is going to go to the finals.
The whole thing?
Yeah. I think they win the whole thing.
Biding time here. You think that the Pacers are going to ultimately win now?
Yeah.
It's on one game, or did you think that would go into the series?
I thought we were going to win the series, but after it's just so hard to come back from a loss like that where you just get your heart tripped out. Like, that's just my thought.
Yeah. Like, they definitely need to have a bounce back game tonight or the next game.
Yeah.
Shit's fucked up when I'm using my phone to connect to
been there before.
Computer's gonna need to go to the repair shop. I think that one became pretty clear, but pretty fitting considering where my brain is at as a Knicks fan. Phil, I missed what you said at the end there.
I don't even know what I just said either.
He said OKC is pretty much going to run through everybody. Yeah. And
that's kind of where I'm at. I'm rooting for that.
Just now lost. What do you're still holding out hope for this series?
Oh yeah.
Hold out hope. It's life support. Like
you just come out.
Phil, that's crazy.
It's the worst little world.
I mean, I think you just muted yourself.
I did. I pulled a Frank.
Good work. That's good restraint, Phil. He's like muting himself so he doesn't say anything he doesn't want to have to live with. That's good work by you subconsciously, even if it was done by that. I wouldn't wish last night on my worst enemy, who happens to be like Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller fucking announcing this entire thing is such a cruel fucking twist of fate. I said we have like Reggie Miller's broken into 3 people now. Nesmith was the guy hitting all the shots like Reggie Miller. Halliburton was the one becoming the villain, taunting people like Reggie Miller. And then Reggie Miller himself was announcing the entire game. It's like they couldn't have thought of a better like misery triumvirate to like unleash on Knicks fan souls. But like, this is just how it is, man. It felt like it was Knicks against the world when I was growing up because everyone loved Michael Jordan. I got just ruthlessly roasted in school because of all the people who were Michael Jordan and Bulls fans and front runners, fucking cocksuckers, let's be honest. It's just us against the world, Phil. So we only got each other right now, pal. So game 4, I know I'll be in for sure streaming on that one. We're not streaming 2 and 3 because of the holiday weekend. I think people were off. So we'll be in game 4. It's going to be a fucking battle, man. Mount up.
Yeah.
For the Mets, for the Knicks. Kyle, what else can you believe in, Kyle? For the new dads out there just trying to get some sleep, gotta believe.
Gotta believe.